Hola, Calimera, and hello. My name is Joseph, and I am from the most famous city in Mexico, obviously Guadalajara.
And my name is Mabel, and I am from Canada. I am overjoyed to announce to you that Joseph and I will be your MCs for the Think Global Schools 2024 graduation ceremony.
Oy vavoy, I never thought this day would come.
It seems like just yesterday that you and I were new students with half of these graduating seniors.
That is correct. I still remember Santi's gastric content in the Okavango Delta in my first ever term.
I promise you I will always remember Charlie dancing through the streets in Malaysia in a little Hello Kitty dress that Yana Zaid and I bought him at a night market.
In a normal high school, people have friends. At TGS, people have a family. A family that gets together to travel the world, to get to identify their identity and have shocks in the cultures around. A family that is empathetic, resilient, and humble.
I am so privileged and proud to be a part of this community, and I am so sad to be seeing half of our friends leaving today.
Mabel, are we rambling?
Yes, Joseph, we are definitely rambling. You all came here to see your children graduate, so let's get this show on the road.
TGS creates changemakers, but it is also done by changemakers.
We would like to ask for a round of applause for our board and leadership team, Joe, Ash, James, Lisa, Mark, Simon, Andy, and Zoe. Thank you all very much.
And TGS might seem to run perfectly, but that is perhaps because people are actually running to get things done. We do not see these people.
Thank you to Tashi for fixing our status app and our laptops when we accidentally spill water on them in coffee shops.
Thank you, Lee and Colleen, for making sure everyone is happy.
Thank you, Heather and Anita, for answering our panicked emails when we email them in the airports because we've missed our flight or it's been delayed.
Thank you, Melanie, for making sure we have la creme de la creme of students each year.
Thank you, Mary, Falami, and Zoe, for making sure our finances run smoothly.
Please, let's give a round of applause for our non-on-site staff. TGS is a traveling school, and of course we have our traveling people. Who are they? Well, definitely Adam, Kelsey, Kenzie, Francesca, Leticia, Matt, Rachel, Sam, Shasta, Sophie, and of course, Emma.
And Sila. Our educators truly mean the world to us. They take us to the hospital when we are violently ill, give us their expert feedback on our half-baked project ideas, and quite honestly, are our friends.
Please, let's give a big round of applause for these incredible heroes.
Woo!
Mabel, is this the part where we start crying?
I think so, Joseph. I only just did my makeup as well. It seems such a shame to ruin it.
Well, I guess we have no other option.
Let's put our hands together to welcome the Think Global School graduating class of 2024.
Oh, check it out. Shoot 'em off.
I like this.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me. The back of the club, macking for my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, melody passing, music lasting. But I just can't quit because one of these homies Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the ep a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. I got mad friends with Benzes. See notes by the layers. Truly tough players. Jump in the Rover and come over. Tell your friends jump in the Jeep.
I have to say, I'm surprised that everyone managed to look put together today.
After seeing all of you in pajamas every day at breakfast checks, it is quite surprising.
Nico isn't even wearing a hat. Miracles do happen.
The TGS family does indeed look beautiful together.
Well done for dressing up, everyone. If we could all please sit down for the matriarch of this family, Joanne McPike, to give us a speech.
Oh my God, I know I'm old now when I'm being called the matriarch. So, welcome to all of you. How amazing is it to be back here in Athens? You know, we have been graduating students for 10 years now. It is so wonderful to see so many of our alumni here, and today is our largest graduating class ever. Symposium, my favourite part of TGS. How incredible was that yesterday? Congratulations to all of you. You put in a lot of hard work, and it really showed. I hope you're all incredibly proud of yourselves. And Pauli, where's Pauli? Where are you, Pauli? Way back there? There you are. Thank you so much for coming back to us and sharing your wisdom. It's funny, in your speech, you spoke about wondering what wisdom you had that was worth sharing. And I was actually yesterday having an exact same conversation with Ashley in the morning, and I said to her, who am I to be standing up there telling these kids anything, right? I'm still learning myself. So I feel you, Pauli, I got you. Well, you lot, congratulations. You made it to the end of the year at TGS. A challenging one for sure on so many levels. Each one of you had your individual challenges. And then we've had collective challenges. And through each of them, we've learned and we've grown. What a year of change. I want to welcome Andy Wood, our new head of school. Arriving into TGS is never easy, as a student or as an educator, and especially not into a leadership position of an already existing organisation. Andy, thank you for your graciousness and curiosity. We are so happy to have you and Karen with us. And thank you to Andy, Jay and Sam, and to all of our educators for stepping up and helping with the transition this year. I know it's been a challenging one that has involved a lot of deep breathing on everyone's part. You are all phenomenal, and I am so, so grateful. So I'd like to welcome Zoe, our new Director of Operations. Zoe, you have been an absolute dream. I know that Ashley and Lisa are crying quiet tears of joy at your arrival. I really look forward to seeing how we can move TGS forward and into new directions with your help and guidance. And a very special welcome back to Ashley. I know you all think that TGS is here because of me, but that's not exactly true. TGS is here because of Ash. While I have big ideas about changing the world, Ashley's the person that actually gets things done. She has pretty much had every role in the school other than educator or head, and now she's a member of the board. We've really missed her balance and her nuance, her ability to have those difficult conversations from a 20,000-foot view, making everyone feel comfortable and heard. And Ash, personally, I am so happy to have you back. And now saying goodbye. Saying goodbye is never easy. And this year, it's goodbye to Rachel. Rachel, who has probably had a more diverse range of positions at TGS than anyone other than Ashley. Our Rach started 9 years ago, fresh out of college, as a do-it-all office admin. Bending over backwards for staff and students, she continually demonstrated her competence and commitment to education, soon landing her in the in-country coordinator role for several years. And after lots of hard work and training, she stepped into a much-beloved educator role. Rachel will be missed, but forever remembered for her range of gifts and talents that she shared with our TGS community. Rach, we love you. Another sad goodbye I have to mention is to one of our first graduates of TGS, Jawed Saki. Jawed sadly drowned in an accident in Mexico a few weeks ago. Jawed joined us in Ecuador from Afghanistan. He was a man of honour and integrity from the first moment I met him. He read voraciously, and he wanted to take the opportunity given to him and make the most of it. He was so filled with appreciation for all of the friends in his life. He accepted and gave love so freely, and at the same time, he felt the responsibility for his family and loved ones weighing heavily on his shoulders. He worked tirelessly to get his family out of Afghanistan and into Germany, to be assured that his siblings had just as much of an opportunity for the future as he did. Humility is a word that comes to mind when I think of Jawed. He never overstated who he was or what he could do, and at the same time, he never understated it either. He was kind, gentle, an amazing friend, going out of his way to help those around him. No matter how hard done by or how unfair anyone felt like the world was being, Jawed always managed to put things into perspective. I'm sad he's been taken from us. But the other day, I was thinking, I said, maybe he's already done what he was sent here in this world to do. Maybe his short time here was enough to inspire all of us to be more grateful, more tolerant, more humble, kinder, gentler, graceful, to be better, to be more like Jawed, a seed of peace, who grew into a tree whose branches even now we feel over us. So know that you never know the impact you are going to have on someone. It could be one short conversation that could change their perspective. And a change of perception can change everything for the better. So our love goes with you, Jawed. You will always be part of our TGS family. So, now, someone told me a few months ago that I was intimidating. This really surprised me because I don't see myself as intimidating at all. It got me thinking about how we don't notice how much we change over the years because most of the time we're thinking about ourselves and how we feel right now. We don't really take the time to look back with any honest reflection. So a few months ago, everything in my life feels like it's a few months ago, I was sitting at a dinner table with 9 other people, a number of them much younger. I was probably one of, if not, the oldest person at the table. And it's funny how that happens, because right now, you'll probably be the youngest person at the table, and then in a blink of an eye, you'll be the oldest. As I sat there watching and listening, I started wondering what they were going to be like when they got to be my age, right? Who would they be? What would they be doing with their lives? How would they be in the world? They were all so full of potential, so full of ideas and passion, so full of curiosity and purpose, but also so full of doubts and fears, insecurity and worries. And as I sat there, I wondered what 20-year-old me would have been like at this table. And would she have recognized that the older lady at the end of the table as herself in 37 years? And it struck me she would not have. She would have been completely intimidated by me. She would have either been completely silent, or she would have been too scared to talk to me, or she would have been so nervous that she would have tried to impress me by spouting all kinds of nonsense. Right? But there's no way that if somebody had pulled her aside and said, "That's you in 37 years," that she would have believed it. There would have been no path whatsoever that she could have imagined that would take her from where she was and how she felt then to the grey-haired old lady sitting quietly at the end of the table watching everybody. And I look out at all of you sitting here, and it makes me smile because you have no clue who you will be in 30 years, how you will feel, what you will believe. You have no idea of the challenges you're going to overcome that will help develop your character, the choices you will make, the actions you will take, the consequences you will have to face, the joys, the successes, the dark nights of the soul that you'll have to face. All of these experiences will write a part of the story of you. You are becoming, because that's what we are. We are becoming the next version of ourselves. Hopefully a better, wiser, and stronger version of ourselves, a more resilient version, a more patient version, more open, and most important, a more forgiving version of ourselves. As the years passed, we leave parts of who we were behind us. We don't even realize when they drop off or change. We think, I am me, here now. I look back at 20-year-old Jo, and I feel for her. I know all the challenges she is going to have to face. I know how badly she is going to face some of those challenges. I know how she is going to make some monumentally bad decisions, and she's going to suffer serious consequences for those. But I also know how much she is going to learn and how much she is going to grow. I remember the day she realized she had to take responsibility for her actions and stop blaming others. I remember when she started thinking about what people would say at her funeral. How did she make them feel? What I don't remember is when, instead of fighting against things, she started fighting for them. It was a change of the energy of perception. It's very subtle, but it makes the world of difference. It moves from being a reaction stemming from fear to an action stemming from love. And as I got older, there is nothing more delicious than letting go of resistance. I spent most of my life building up the resistance, the defensiveness, only to come full circle and to never want to be in resistance to anything ever again. It's insanely freeing. That is the journey of becoming. It was in being an acceptance of the struggle inside of me, that struggle of wanting to be normal, to be ordinary, to fit into society, to be accepted by my peers, and yet at the same time wanting to be extraordinary, wanting to be special, wanting to be heard, wanting to feel significance. That is the journey of becoming. So as I look at you all now, I wonder, in 37 years, would you now recognize yourself as the old wise person at the end of the table? Do you think the you of today would be intimidated by the person you are about to become? And I hope you will be, because it means that you've faced your challenges, you've accepted responsibility for your choices, and you've stepped into your potential, which is expanding constantly. You know, to finish off, I've got to tell you a little story. A friend of mine was having lunch with her 94-year-old grandmother, and her grandmother said to her, "I wish I knew at 74 what I now know at 94. I was like, wow. Well, I hope that when I'm 94, my 57-year-old self today will have no concept of who I am to become. I mean, how exciting is that? So congratulations to all of you. I look forward to meeting up with you in 37 years and having that discussion about, do you think that the kids sitting at graduation now would recognize the amazing person that you've become?
Wow, how do you follow an inspirational speech like that? Well, gee, that was fantastic. And mums and dads, parents, I'm sure you remember about a week ago when your sons and daughters sat up, and then when they first walked, and then their first day off to play school and primary school, and now look at them coming down the staircase here. And I'm sure you must be immensely proud. And, you know, as Joan was talking about those chapters of life we go through, this is a really important ceremony. You know, you're finishing your school career, and we had to celebrate where you've come from, where you're now, and where you're headed. And TGS is an extraordinary school, and it's a little bit like a ship on a journey. And you are explorers, you're adventurers. You don't quite know where this journey's heading. You're a bit like, I don't know, Captain Cook or Vasco da Gama or Bartholomew Dias, setting off into the middle of nowhere. And, you know, on the ship are a whole lot of people. They're the students. You're not so much the passengers, but you're there for the journey. And the journey's actually for you. And it's an educational journey, it's a personal journey, it's a journey of discovery. But of course it couldn't happen without a whole lot of people making it happen. You know, I'm lucky enough to be up on the bridge trying to navigate the boat as well as I can. But there are people in the engine room, the radio room, the galley, out on the foredeck, and each person in our team has a really important role. And the ship couldn't operate without everybody's contribution and them doing their job really well. So it's a well-oiled machine. So I want to thank everybody on our team for being such an extraordinary crew through good times and bads, through the storms and the sunny weather. Thank you so much. And of course, on any sea journey, the weather changes. We all hope for good weather, sunny skies and sort of Tahitian islands, but there's stormy times too. And I think as a group of students, you've been through some pretty stormy times and you've dodged some icebergs and the course of the ship changed a good deal. And the measure of you is how resilient you've been and just what extraordinary people you've been through that. And status time, everybody. You'll recognize that. But we do learn much more from the tough times than the easy times. Just to build up on what Joe was saying, you know, when things are easy, life's comfortable. But it's those difficult times and difficult experiences that shape us. You know, one of my favorite quotes is from Robert Schiller, who said that tough times don't last, tough people do. And I hope that we've raised you to be tough people in a good way, resilient, strong, bounce-back kind of folk. But today we're here to say farewell to this group of passengers. You've been on a unique journey, a remarkable journey, an amazing adventure, and we're going to say goodbye to you. And in July, we'll welcome a new group of passengers on, and they'll set off on their journey, and it will be different. It won't be better or worse. Each person has their own journey, but it will be their journey, and it will be different. And you too are going to set off on your journey through life, and you're not going to follow the same path. You know, each of you today is wearing a different pair of shoes, and they're your shoes, and walk proudly in them. Because you cannot spend your life wishing you were wearing somebody else's shoes and, you know, you're following their path. So wear your own shoes. Follow your own path with confidence. But what have they learned along the way? You know, we often worry about science and math marks and have they got their English essay marks. But I was reading in Forbes magazine, and the focus of the article is, what are top universities and colleges looking for in applicants? And they're looking for, firstly, for a unique passion. You know, they're drawn to students who've got a distinct passion. And your personal projects and mastery projects have shown that passion. And for those of you who were fortunate enough to be at Symposium yesterday, just such different projects, all done quite uniquely. And each, you know, took twists and turns along the way. But you each showed a passion for learning and a passion for your inquiry. Then a commitment to community. If there's one thing these students believe deeply in, is community and the strength of community. And you know, there's a commitment to community. Our service learning program that Kelsey leads is just an expression of that. Then resilience and teachability. Boy, oh boy, has Think Global School taught you resilience. And you've got that in spade loads, and you're going to be able to bounce back from whatever life throws at you. Strong communication skills is the fourth of them. And if you know, we were at Symposium yesterday, incredible communication skills and such confidence shown on stage there. And finally, your organization and command of responsibilities. I visit lessons a good deal, and I always see students working, and often they're working on something different. But everybody knows there's a job to be done, a project to be finished, an assignment to be handed in, and they own that. There's an extraordinary command of your responsibilities there. So they've learnt a good deal more than English and maths and science. They've learnt those skills that are going to not only get them into university, but beyond and into success in the future. But to get back to where I started, they were young and cute once, and I'd love just to share with you just some little photographs of sort of where they came from and where they are now. So, yeah, here's some memories. Yeah, so who do you think this might be? And the more projects, the better. She loves running, dogs, and volunteering, wake up early to run. And you know, she'll never forget getting lost on Green Island and trying to form the group again. And this is Andrea, most likely to graduate from university in 1 year. Congratulations. Then look at this little cutie pie. She likes doing things her way and stuffed animals. She dislikes having to do things that are not her way and oranges, and is the queen of injuries and accidents. And she loves making funny noises. She's a great character, a larger-than-life personality in our group. It is... Then this is somebody who, you know, if you're at a meal anywhere... He's the one who's going to ask you if you're going to finish the food before you've received it. He likes food, getting big, coffee, spreading happiness, dislikes early morning wake-ups, bad food, bad jokes, and he's the master of languages and the eater of food. He is the one and only Charlie. Then he loves tennis, poems, and music. Boy, can he sing. Do you think I should carry my wheels backpack? And he's the genius of the generation. He's our TGS maths whiz. He dislikes crutches and lactose, and he is David. These quotes came from the students themselves, most likely to become the best dad in the world. I think that's an incredible compliment from your peers. No, David, it is a good thing. It really is. Right. Next. Who's that? This is one like, if the menu doesn't have French fries, she's not staying in the restaurants. She likes running and dancing, just like Chaos, and she wants to become a feminine warrior. She is? Doan. Most likely to become a dance sensation. Then, our little princess has always been a princess. And she'd love to be, she works in cafes every day, everywhere. Caribou became her second home. She likes coding and tennis and running club, dislikes bad matcha, and better known as e-money. It is? There she is, Isha. Then, who's that? Likes music, mysteries, crystals, dislikes pianos that aren't 88 keys, always playing music. There's always music around this person. She's a visionary music maker. She is? Kita. And that's from her peer. Meal times for Kita are never simple. Great. And here's somebody who likes Paulo Freire, Carnival, political philosophy and debate, dislike oppressive institutions, Tree Explore, where others don't like Brazilian music, known as Louise Brunt. It is Louisa. We said yesterday she is going to become president of something, for sure. Hey, look at this cute guy. He likes a decent end-of-term rap, gatekeeping aircon heater settings from his roommates. Yeah, he likes to set the aircon up high or low. Dislikes slow walkers, Japan common rooms, and an unusually hot room to sleep. And he is Max. Most likely to play Sam's music anywhere. Then, who's this? Likes music composition, Korean barbecues, Japan, teaching Zumba, dislikes vegetarian food, better known as Nico, the secret songwriter. And there he is, most likely to be the life and soul of the party. Now, who could that be? Likes rock climbing, ropes, being off the ground, sailing, scuba diving, dislikes flat ground. Better known as the OG TGS Stone Master, the advisory rock star. He is Nico. Now, who's this into science, research, digging deep, wearing color and being bright? Doesn't like being on time. There's one person who missed the bus for grad today. Everybody's on the bus on time, but where is this person? And the queen of questions and reasons. She is Raya. Most likely to ask somebody to take a picture of her. And this young man loves fancy brunch, fire music and playlists, cooking a solid gym routine, networking and good vibes, doesn't like bad vibes, and he's best known as Raf, the stage name DJ Zero Talent. He is Raf. Most likely to star in his own reality show. And here's someone who loves the ocean and anything nature, Birkenstocks, flowy linen clothing, and a good book. Doesn't like assignment deadlines, been told to put the book away, status updates, restricted freedom. And she is our Rhiannon. Most likely to deafen a room with her singing. It's always music and laughter when Rhiannon is around. And who's this? Good vibes, rugby, van life, hippie life, and crystals. Doesn't like salt and people who annoy her. The barefoot wanderer. I mean, what a great picture. Thanks so much, Johnny and Nessa. You did a great job there. This is Sally. And you will make a great TGS educator. You've just got that gift of connecting with people. Now, who is this who likes poetry, football, anarchy and jeans? Doesn't like restrictive governments, Japan term. Master Wordsworth and poet extraordinaire. He is Santi. He was really, really cute. And who likes setting things on fire? Lots of designs for bombs in the courtyard. Doesn't like governments. Best asking if he can buy somebody for science. He is Sigurd. Then we have someone who likes a good prank, cooking food, peach water from Seoul, doesn't like bad food, known as Jonesy. And this is Tari. Most likely to become the next Steven Spielberg of the filming world. Who is this who likes debating, philosophy, long curly hair and cooking, doesn't like fast food, fishing, and known as the generous rainbow chef? It is Tico. Now here's somebody who likes coffee and croissants all day, doesn't like injuring educators, there's a story there. Better known as everybody's second mum. This gorgeous young person is Jana. And finally, someone who loves music, jokes in French, humans who talk, great debates, doesn't like freedom zones, rooms without people, and push-ups, known as the epicenter of action. It is Zaid. So we're really excited to see where you've come from. We want to celebrate where you are now, and we're looking forward to see where you're headed. Thank you.
We indeed don't sleep when it's sunny outside.
Thank you, Andy. That was such a surprise. If we could now welcome to the stage your 2024 class speaker, Nico.
Okay, wait, I'm short. Okay. So I've been throwing up all day. It's called emotional reflux. If you know, you know. But I'll be trying to hold myself together for this speech. For all of us, it's been too long. We are tired. We need stability. It's been 2 long years, and for the OGs, it's been 3. We are so ready to leave and finally have time to fully process the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity we just experienced. Graduating today seems surreal. Some of us thought we were not going to make it, and all of us thought we were going to be graduating with different people. And that's what has made this graduation quite a pico. We're the live representation and definition of the word entropy, and in case you don't know, entropy is the principle of physics that everything in the universe is slowly getting more unorganized. And we are the entropy and chaos of merging our beloved CM1 and CM2. And we've been trying all year to run away and forget, but it's important to acknowledge that we all come from our loved communities and traditions, and we were forced to attempt to join these ideas together. I'll be lying if I say we were all about kindness and Ubuntu and love and happiness. No, because we were most definitely not that. Bosnia, let's not talk about Bosnia, please. Australia, that was good. It was better, community. Japan, we all bonded on our traumatic experiences, but we bonded. And Greece was a constant crying session, saying goodbye repeatedly. Because somewhere in between the catered dinner from Bosnia and the runs to the opposite side of the world for our next class in Japan, we grew to love each other. But we made it to graduation. And I know many of us would agree when I say that I'm so happy our lives merged together. This year wouldn't have been the same without one another. We were quite a grade, that's for sure, but seeing you all together right now, about to say our last goodbye to the community that became our everything for the last couple of years, makes me realize that I wouldn't have chosen any other group to do so. We were all so majorly different, but that's what made this year fun. Our small little individual contributions. Like, come on, what would it be of our lives without Santi ranting his heart out in such a poetic way, reminding us all the work we should be doing and how many coffees it's gonna take to do that? Or Charlie doing turtle noises, or dinosaur noises, or just noises in general. And our collective struggle, or let's call it competition, to see who was doing worst in research and who had less words written on that document. I want to indirectly quote one of my most wisdomous persons I've ever met, Coco. We all came into this school for different reasons, but something that somehow led us to apply was our big desire of meeting the world. But in the attempt, we fear how big the world is and how small we are, and how impossible it is to meet the world. And when people ask me what's my favorite discovery from the world, all of you come up. And I know it sounds cringy and who picked me as a grad speaker, but it's true, because I love the version of me when I'm surrounded by you. And I couldn't see my life anymore without any of you in it. And I'm scared to go into the world and not find this. A family that would have never picked each other in the real world. I got lost in my speech. But that offered a shoulder to cry on, a hug to comfort each other, a cheer to celebrate the smallest things, a laugh to smile in those blue days, and a community that we felt valued and appreciated. Not all days were good, we know that, but meeting all of you was the best thing that I could ever dreamed or fantasize about. Leaving this school is all at once so easy and so hard, because leaving means leaving memories and experiences that are only possible in TGS. I can think of 1,000 things we can collectively agree we will miss, like those We Explore nights without tech, where our only possible entertainment was each other. The bonds we shaped during these experiences are the memories we're taking with us, which will resurface every time someone asks, oh, where did you go to high school? And our attempt to try to explain people the roller coaster this school was. And the reality is that at the end of the day, I don't think we'll ever find a group of people that understands us the way we do. And that's what gets us all together. We may meet again in 5 or 10 years. We may just greet each other in the streets, or we may just try everything we can to not see each other ever again. But the mark this school had in our lives is something that even if we try, we will never forget. TGS feels like a lifetime on its own, and the way we've changed and the way we've improved is impossible to ignore. I look back at myself before TGS and I don't recognize him. Here I found a group of people that allowed me to be authentic, that allowed me to be as weird as I possibly could, and allowed me to discover the best things of me. And I look at all of you right now, and I can't potentially put into words how much pride I have for the quality of human beings you all are. Thank you for making this school such a liberating space for us to be who we truly are. With the good and the flaws, we've never been this honest with ourselves in a community, because this is the family we've had for the last 2 or 3 years of our lives. Maybe we're not a biological family, that's for sure, but if we were, although we would be bagging more money than the Kardashians ever did, but what makes this goodbye so hard is that we are leaving our people, the group of people that became your entire support throughout this journey. And I want all seniors to close their eyes and think of those people who you desperately counted the seconds to see again after break. Those people who you were excited to see every morning at breakfast checks and give them a hug. Those people who you were excited to invite to lunch or dinner. Those people who became your chosen family throughout these years. And as heartbreaking as it sounds, in a couple of days, these people will leave our lives, for God knows how many years. We will leave some behind for some more years, and we will let others find themselves in the world out there. And to think that we need to embark on the next journey without them seems impossible right now. But we all know that our people will be patiently waiting for us to meet again in a future that now seems unclear. But we can all agree that these people that we're thinking right now loved us honestly and truthfully. And the love we carry for them is undefinable. And so as we all try to successfully read our speeches without crying and say a last proper goodbye to the people that made this experience worth it, give yourself some time to breathe. And after today, many of us will start to breathe again. We will grow on new walls, we will create new families with new people, and we will go our different paths that we think are good for us. And I'm sure that every single one of you have so much to give, and you will make people as happy as you made me the last 2 years. I've learned so much from all of you, and I'll hold a piece of your seniors in a very niche but important portion of my heart. You have definitely become the standard of the kind of people I want in my life. I love each and every single one of you deeply, and thank you for making these 2 to 3 years exciting. For our dear 10 and 11s, we have so much hope in every single one of you. I'm a firm believer that this school exclusively survives on its people and what they offer, and I'm sure that you'll become amazing seniors soon, and that you'll make this community even more special than it was this year. We're so incredibly proud of all of you, and leaving you behind and not graduating with you is hard. Educators and staff, thank you for redefining what educating really means, for being our friends and our emotional support throughout these years. And seniors, once again, Thank you for making TGS so special. I can't wait to cry my ass out on that bus on the way back. You're everything I was ever looking for. I love you, class. And now it's my turn to introduce a person that I wish I knew for longer and I wish I had more time to know better. A person who sparks curiosity and that is constantly excited for the world surrounding her, Raya. A word that I would use to describe her would be passion. It's been such an incredible journey to see her constantly excited and curious about the work she does. Because when Raya sets a goal for herself, she don't not only accomplish it, but she does it with a smile on her face. It's so motivating to see her projects and her goals and see her pushing her comfort zone to challenge herself. Raya and I bonded on our love for Friends. She said she would be Phoebe Buffay and that I would be Chandler Bing, and I totally see the vision. I wish we had more time to meet because whenever I talk to her, I learn so much. She's humble and she shows genuine gratitude for the opportunities in her life, and I'm incredibly proud of her for her achievements and for coming this far. A few weeks ago, she taught me a very valuable lesson that I would take with me for a long time. She asked me, would you be able to sit alone in a restaurant and be okay with it? And my answer was no. But her independence and resilience shows her growth and her value as a person. I can't wait to see what the future has prepared for her. I know she will accomplish great things and build something sciencey and innovative that will help so many. I hope you find your people and that the world is able to see all of the beautiful things you have to offer. You deserve nothing but the nicest things. I'm so proud of you, Raya. Come on up.
Thank you, Nico. Okay. In the first ever day of my first ever term in Botswana, I met this person at catered dinner, and I instantly knew that I wouldn't have to try too hard for us to be friends. We started running in the morning together in Gaborone. Getting chased by dogs in Gaborone and barked at by a cute little puppy in South Korea, to mention a few. He can tell you all about all the reasons why I'm a cat person. Being in the same advisory, in the same ROP group, we bonded very quickly and easily. Then he was missing for a whole term. When he came back in South Korea, I couldn't recognize him because of how much he had grown and how mature he was. David is a passionate singer, musician. He's extremely hardworking. He's a dancer, public speaker. But I'm glad I got to know him a lot more than that. He's someone who continuously strives to grow in every way, a great listener and a great friend. Lost phones, strained ankles. I'll miss your contagious laugh that I could never tell was real or not. Thank you for opening up to me and letting me see beyond the layers, letting me see the true values that you hold dear to you. Thank you for making me laugh with your terribly unfunny jokes. I'm glad our paths have crossed. Thank you for always believing in me. I can't wait to see what you do, what all the great things you do in your life. Congratulations, David Oladejo.
Thank you for the introduction, Ryan. I really appreciate it. So today, I have the incredible honor of introducing someone who stands at the core of some of my greatest memories at TGS, Doan. Standing here trying to describe someone so extraordinary feels like such an impossible task, but I'll try my best in so few words to convey just how much she means to me. Her passion for the things that she cares about is truly inspiring. Whether it's dancing, advocating for human rights, empowering women, or simply being there for her friends, Doan pours her heart and soul into everything that she does. Meraki. And let's not forget Doan's humor. It's not just that she tells jokes or makes funny faces, although she does plenty of that, but it's her timing and the way that she reads the room. It's the way laughing comes so easy to her and that she finds something hilarious even in your worst dad jokes. Doan, you are my favorite unstage partner. Whether at Australia's showcase or symposium, I will miss our never-ending banter of, David, have you heard? Or, Doan, why are you dancing? We've shared so many unforgettable memories together. Dancing on the rooftop in Bosnia, screaming, this is gonna be the best day of my life. Snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, getting Magnolia cheesecake in Turkey, and taking dance classes in Japan. And I wouldn't forget the last class that we did have, surrounded by big hugs and smiles from a group of other dancers we had only just met. They called us kawaii, as Doan and I gushed endlessly, surprised by their warm reception. And that's the truth. Love can sometimes be that simple. Having the right people make it so much easier. And so, to my Pringle-loving dancing queen, keep doing what you do best, spreading love, laughter, and light wherever you go. I'm not sure what the future holds, but if everyone laughed and smiled the way that you do, Doan, I'm sure it'll be a better place. Doan, thank you for being my friend all these years. I love you with my whole heart, and I can't wait to see where life takes you. Congratulations, Doan, and please, no matter what happens, never stop dancing.
Hello. So I wrote a 6-line poem with her name. Her name is Andrea. Andrea, I want to say how proud I am of us for making it here together. And now, as I reflect on our 2 years together in Malaysia, do you remember we cried at the October Cafe when we shared that we both tried so hard to speak in English? I still remember that moment and the bond we shared. I was lucky to have classmates like you who cultivated your future, follow your passion and goals no matter what, and always gave your best effort. Definitely, I'll miss my favorite Peruvian and your enthusiastic love for KFC, Dokibo, Fuzikaze, and Full House. But I'll miss our TGS student, Andrea, one of the most hardworking, genuine, and passionate people I know. Regardless of how much work you had, you showed the value of responsibility and effort when I saw you working on assignments late at night. I wonder if you were getting enough sleep. So after graduation, I want you to sleep well and cozy. Even though you always call me Lokma, which is Greek donuts, trick me every day with your jokes, try to beat me in mini fencing matches with a hanger, call me cute out of nowhere, and try to squeeze my face with your hand, I still love you. Andrea, lastly, I want to say you're a good listener and a great fencer. At the same time, you're pure, smart, and diligent people I know. I'm sure you will thrive and soar even higher in the future with your passion. Thank you for being a part of my TGS journey. So I want to welcome Andrea to the stage.
Hi guys. I'm being so for real here. Let's guess who I'm talking about. She's the absolute height of TGS. The girl who needs to be careful with the mosquitoes. Girl, I won't forget the time when you created a song for me about being homeless in Japan. But I also won't forget the time when you slayed in your mastery and service learning defense. I love you for turning the AC to 30 degrees so you can feel like home. But I hated it when you regretted the choice and got convinced by Shangri-La to turn the AC to 18. You always gave me good advice, but I started questioning them the time when you bought a 20 euros plain shirt. You never stopped asking me if you look good or not, but there's no need to ask really, because you always do. Let's welcome to the stage Your Highness, Goddess of Delusion, Ishita, the programmer, or as commoners call, Isha Bina.
I promise, Andrea, I'm not gonna cry, and I'm trying really hard. The person I'm introducing today is very passionate, and I have never seen anyone more passionate about DJing and their claim to being from New York. When I first met Raf, I hated him. One thing about Raf is that he can be the loudest in the room sometimes, and he's really good at calling you out. But through failed thrifting attempts in South Korea and endless complaining about how I'm too quiet, I saw how much he truly cares about the people around him. I'm so honored to be a recipient of this care this term through the many times he cooked for me. So when he talks continuously about the nutritional value of frozen fruit and how he's so healthy, I forgive him because oftentimes this is accompanied with some of the best tasting pasta I've had, made with organically handpicked ingredients, of course. Oops. This term, I got to see the same passion when he played tennis with me. I think Raf's improvement in tennis can closely be related to a bell curve. The energy that he brings into the game makes our weekly tennis sessions something I look forward to all the time. I know that with just a little bit more practice and his own superior coaching, he can maybe win a proper point with me. Congratulations on graduating, and I know you will have fun in Miami. Thank you, Raf.
Wow, I guess I really am the first to cry. Okay. Whether it's Nefertari, Nefertiti, Dara, or Tari, everyone needs someone like you in their lives. When I first met you, I did not yet understand your brilliance. But as you started to come out of your shell, I could not get enough of it. From your witty jokes to your contagious laughter, there's almost never a dull moment with you. You are focused, ambitious, caring, and bright. When I look back on our TGS experience, I will be reminded of our conversations about the political and economic state of the world in the back of an Athens taxi, and being squished in the back of a Mumbai tuk-tuk with Isha, and getting very awkward stares from the locals passing by. Tari, you have been someone who I can always rely on. Whether it's giving me feedback, showing me how to set better boundaries for myself, or simply listening to my little rants. You are a good friend to me, and for that, I am indebted to you. For every chapter of life, you take away a few special people, and I am glad to say that you are one of those special people to me. I cannot wait to see you apply all that you have learned at TGS to flourish when you go to New York. And I would wish you the best of luck, but I'm sure that you will not need it. Thank you.
One thing nobody has ever accused Louisa of being is quiet. Say the words communism, politics, or chocolate, and you'll see what I mean. After you finish your sentence, or sometimes not, get ready for a debate. If you're unsure about the workings of a debate, don't worry, she'll debate you on how to debate. Despite my many, you could say, debates with Louisa, one thing that I've always seen with her is the future. One where youth across the globe, starting with Brazil, are politically minded and are as passionate and respectful of their history and power as she is. I see future Louisa ordering a steak with a side of chocolate for a meal. Maybe she'll have a side of vegetables. Nah, let's be honest, it's probably a potato. I see a future me going to trade school and learning how to install ACs to a set temperature of 19 degrees, or 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So Louisa doesn't turn it to 25 degrees, or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. I know you're already rolling your eyes, Louisa. So American, I know. Future Louisa, despite my apprehensions about your digs at me being American, to me, your loudness means joy. May we meet again in Kerala and laugh till our stomachs hurt and we get noise complaints again. May we play Call of Duty again in Greece at a restaurant with views of the beautiful Plaka where the waiter asks if he can join in after his shift. I will always remember you as loud and celebration, annoyance, joy, and impact. You will impact those around you just as you have impacted me. I wouldn't bet 20 cents on our friendship ever ending, because for me, future Louisa hasn't left my side. Thank you.
Rhiannon is one of the most creative people I know. Whether she realizes it or not, she's a true storyteller. Rhiannon's creativity and bubbly energy have the power of bringing people together. No matter if that is through writing an impressive children's story in Botswana, through her pottery, or coming up with the most out-of-pocket would-you-rather questions at dinner. So today, I want to give an overview of our story. Starting in Botswana, chapter 1, our friendship blossomed almost immediately. I felt connected to her spirit, her heart, and her humor as we rode the long stretch from Gaborone to Maun. In our next chapter, India, I learned of the true character development that will be sparked by Rhiannon. I remember stepping on a rat in the middle of the streets in India, and while I cried barefoot on the elevator, she laughed and took a picture. I guess you could say that she was sent to humble me. In the following chapters, Rhiannon continued to be a caring friend, concerned with making others feel welcomed and appreciated. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your story. I will forever cherish our Sunday brunches, watching the World Cup together, Monopoly deal fights, beach days in New Zealand, and late-night COD games. As your spontaneity, creativity, and spark continue to drive the future chapters of your life, I'm happy to say I was part of this one. Félicitations, tu as réussi. Bravo.
All right, here we go. Let's try and read my own handwriting. So, after 2 years around the globe, TGS has asked me for one final reflection. If there's one thing I have learnt, it's that the world is unapologetically unfair. However, in this vast lifetime of unfairness, I now come to experience one of the most profound acts of fairness that I can imagine. That being the fact that I can't keep Ari by my side forever. For how spoiled would I be to keep her with me always? How spoiled would I be to continue to experience her unwavering loyalty, to know that if I ever need someone to talk to or someone to hug, she's always there. That's the thing about Ari. The tenacity and dedication and love that she puts into the people she cares about makes you feel like you've been friends for years, even if you only met her 3 months ago. For me, these 2 years have been a decade. If the situation were an unfair situation, I would take Ari back to New Zealand with me, and I would continue my life with this amazing person by my side. Because that's who she is. Not only a friend, but a person. A person covered in tattoos who loves teddy bears. A person who refuses to get back to the res without getting an ice cream. And a person who sees the world and understands. For all its chaos, symphony, and contradiction, Ari understands it. So no, it's only fair that when we say goodbye, I won't know when I will see her again. For who am I to keep her from the rest of the world when I don't know anyone who loves it more? Ari, I trust that you will continue your adventures, this time without the curfew. All you need to do is come up on the stage and get your diploma.
Well, I've lost. I've been crying for the past 4 hours. I love this school, but it wants me to leave. All right, let me get to my story. I promised this person that I'm not gonna make her cry, so I'm gonna do my best not to, but oh well, we'll see. Speedwalking in Tokyo, driven by insatiable craving for a cheeseburger. Your impressive speed, considering the height, was quite surprising. Walking and couldn't stop thinking about how this wonderful journey led me here, chasing wild ideas with a friend who had unexpectedly become a cornerstone of my life. But let's start from the beginning. Athens, May 2023. The air buzzed with excitement over the upcoming El Clasico game. But around all this business, I found myself having dinner with Tebe, discussing the next year. Our cohorts were known for deeply loving each other, so I didn't really expect to form any new friendships. She's chill. You will become really close, Tebe said when your name came up. I ignored it, thinking it was unlikely. Little did I know how wrong I would be. Arriving in Japan was a life-changing experience. I got a message right after landing. You, Mabel, and I are roommates. Terrified, I walked into a legendary and unforgettable 10:01 and saw you munching on chips, watching some TV show. Only 2 hours in, and the room was already a mess. If only I knew how it will end Luki by the end of term. Roommate selfies, dance sessions, and laughing at Mabel's falling in between the beds. We explored Kyoto, had late night snacks, and enjoyed tea ceremonies. The speed at which we bonded was terrifying, but I couldn't be more grateful for it. Ari, shut the fuck up and get some food. You were caring about me a lot, unconventional, but it worked well. You kept me going with long balcony conversations and those mochi with strawberries. I still cannot pronounce it. You're the only gifted one. Greece 2024. I came into term knowing that I will be sharing my room with someone who will never leave me aside, will always give the weirdest look, make the meanest comments, but then end up stating how much she loves me. You saw the sides of me no one else did and never judged it. I realized only recently how deep our connection is. You told me that I wouldn't be presenting you at grad if I was someone random. Correct, I wouldn't. At the start of this year, I never imagined I'd be here. And now, here I stand, closing down your high school chapter in which I was lucky to be a friend. You're incredible, and there is not enough words to describe my love for you. I couldn't imagine introducing anyone else today, but my little pretty woman. No matter where life takes you, my contact is the one you can always rely on. You have my support, my care, and my protection. You're a part of my extended family, and nothing will ever change it. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'm so privileged to have you in my life. All right, everyone, attention. Ladies and gentlemen, educators, dear students, I'm excited to introduce the most beautiful, generous, kind, caring, and funniest person in this school, my dearest friend and biggest hater. With a loud round of applause, welcome to this stage a former grade 12, Jana Parik.
Okay, I brought tissues in case. Thank you, Ari, for that very sweet speech. Okay, when I think of my past 2 years at TGS, you are the first person, my favorite memory, and the only American that comes to mind. And now today is the day you've been working towards for your 1,047 days, I calculated. You're finally a high school graduate. I spent so many weeks thinking about what I would say to you in this speech, but I always find myself at a loss of words. I've been tasked with the impossible, giving me a minute to describe such an amazing person. Like many others, when I first met you, I thought you were an unapproachable, extremely opinionated, angry American. However, as time went on, I began to get to know you, whether it was you faking not knowing me on how to use a sticker book as an excuse to hang out with me, or me forcing you to come help me buy crochet supplies for a good 4 hours in Turkey. And I know there were times where I might have acted like I hated you, mostly because you decided to take a 30-minute bathroom break when we had to leave, or played Brawl Stars for 4 hours straight. But anyways, I could never hate the person who has stood next to me through thick and thin at this roller coaster of a school. I am so proud to be standing here beside you, Max. I promised you I would be here through the entire thing, and I'm so happy I get to live that out. There hasn't been a day in the last 18 months where I haven't wished you good morning, good night, heard you laugh, or heard you throw a tantrum. It's very obvious when you enter a room, not because you're ginger or loud or funny, but because of the energy you bring in once you come in the door. I feel at home, safe in my little treehouse. You are always and always will be my number one, my Ice Spice, my El Primo, and my best friend. I know we think family is something we lose when we commit to this school, but I truly believe I've found my family in you. Thank you for showing me an amount of love and care I didn't know I could feel. I know you will have the most incredible life full of adventures and love, and if there is one thing I want you to remember about me, it is that I will always be proud of you. You are by far the most incredible human I have ever met. Every day I have watched you grow has been a blessing, and I feel so grateful to call you one of my best friends. I love you, Max, and I wish you all the best. Come on up.
I can't believe the crying monster finally got me. The whole term, no tears. Okay. Now this guy. Whenever he walks into a room, you'll know he's there. Whether it's his vibrant energy, thick Australian accent, or most likely because he farted when he walked by. You see, Charlie's not the regular funny guy you have in your life. It's not a common knock-knock joke or a quick thinking act. It's an acquired taste. If Charlie's brain had a formula, it would be this. Imagine you're thinking in shapes and movie scenes. Now think of a color, then blurt out the first random dinosaur noise you can think of. Doug gets him every single time. Our first interaction is something to be forgotten. As I'm walking out of the res in Malaysia, I get a tap on my shoulder from this giant Asian man. Like, long mullet, crossbody bag, bright blue rain jacket, crazy-looking farmer's hat, and these dirty Crocs that looked like they had just been through hell and back. He proceeds to hit me with a, "Oi, mate, you're Max, right?" I'm so lost, so very lost. How is this strange guy speaking fluent English in this accent? I was beyond puzzled, and to be honest, with some of the things he still does to this day, I still scratch my head. So it checks out. Some of my most sacred memories at this school are with you. I've made you cry while playing the ukulele because the only two chords I knew were the sad ones. I've told you when you were cooked for not doing your work, vice versa when I finished my research paper in one night. I've laughed my hardest around you, from Godzilla visiting our bathroom on the Kyoto We Explore that made me camp out in the hallway, or you explaining to me why your favorite number is 55. Until spending a week with you in a tent on the beaches of Oman, where you told me that you had to wake up early in the morning because your cow undies were drying outside and you didn't want anyone to see them. Your first assignment at the school was with me, where you did the bare minimum and I carried us through that project. Then finishing your mastery course a week after you bet me it would be done. Or when you told me in term 3 that you were 30 LT short of graduating and you were on Sam's watch list. But hey, we made it, and we're ready to graduate. I'm really proud of how far you've come, Charlie. If anything defines growth at this school, it's you. From the quirky, dinosaur-roaring, weird music-listening kid you were, to the responsible young gentleman you are now. Congrats, mate.
I'm going to be introducing someone who never fails to make people's day better. Seeing him walk into a room can change the mood of this room completely, just with the energy he brings in. He's always kind, caring, and always happy to see you and cheerful. Since the first time we spoke at CFC in Kota Kinabalu, I thought Zaid was going to be someone I would think was weird. He ended up being that person. I still think that to this day, but he's my type of weird. So we didn't talk much back then, and we didn't really interact much at all because we were both very timid. But I think as time went on, we started to realize that we were more similar than we expected, and we were just as weird as each other. Zaid is someone who's always been there for me, whether in Malaysia at ROP or at CFC, the first time we had our dinner date, in Turkey at the Hagia Sophia, in Oman skating or with the perfume guy in the mall, taking pictures in Konyits, advisory lunches with cheese in Australia, sitting at the Peace Park listening to music for hours in Japan, or being roommates here in Greece. Every moment with Zaid I savor and I'm very happy for. Zaid is someone I know I'll have a laugh with no matter where I am. During my time at TGS, I had the privilege to go to these 7 different countries and learn about their cultures. I'd take a little bit of them with me. But being friends with Zaid and spending time with him feels like I've gone to an 8th one. In one of Zaid's songs that I heard back in Greece, or maybe Bosnia, I don't really remember, he had a French line that said, "Faudrait je le dise, non c'est plus la même. Parti de moi et puis, trop de souvenirs dans la tête. Dis-moi, est-ce que ça vaut la peine? Keke Istanbul Muscat, et puis Athens." He basically says that he's been gone for 2 months on term. He comes back and he has so many memories in his head. Can you please tell him if it's worth it? Keke Istanbul Muscat and Athens. So I'd like to ask Zaid this one, personally. Was it worth it? After 2 years. I'll miss Zaid. I love him to everywhere and back, no matter where it is. I don't know how I'm going to survive in this world without my friend by my side. And Tali Nashma Diali. Oh, sorry. So with everything I've said, I'd like to invite my dear friend Zaid Khai Ahmed up to the stage, please.
I cried. So, I would like to start by asking you guys a question. What do you call cheese in Paris? La fromage. In our first term, we despised each other. We barely talked. I thought she was weird, and she thought I was weird too. I saw her as the Sally that doesn't talk to people, that gives you a side eye when you start a conversation with her, and the Sally avoiding. And so we lived our first term without really paying attention to each other. During our second term in Turkey, we were both reaching the down low. I remember one time I was chilling in my room and she just knocked on my door and asked me if I was all right. So we just sat down in the hallway and just talked for hours. And this marked our friendship and the start of our friendship. Now I discovered the hippie Sally, open to talk to anyone. The Sally that loves stones, and the hippie Sally, and most importantly, the Sally that looks just like her dad. Johnny, I can tell she's your daughter very well. Sally is the type of person that always has her toes out. When I say always, it's always. And gives name to her feet. She's the type of person that sits on the floor, even though there is a couch next to her. And she's also the type to ask, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, even though she's not feeling the best. And she's also the type of person to adopt you into her family because your parents couldn't make it. I'm Zaid Smith now. Cheese, I'll miss you. I'll miss your singing in ROP. I'll miss seeing a baby crawling on the floor in Turkey with you. I'll miss eating shawarma in Oman with you. I'll miss all the laughs we had. I'll miss the 1 to 10s, and most importantly, I'll miss annoying you. Thank you for putting a smile on my face. Thank you for being caring, passionate, and always positive. Not a lot of people can say that they have traveled the world with their friends, but I did, and I can say, so thank you for being my friend. You're not you are, I know you know that, but I truly want you to understand that you are an amazing person, and I'm so grateful I met you in my life. I appreciate you more than you can imagine. And from now on, I will live, laugh, love, and leave TGS with all the memories I have with you. So please welcome to the stage, Sally Smith.
Oh, I'm sure. Of course, I'm barefoot, but don't judge. Okay. Color reminds us of a lot of things, or at least it does for me. Green is nature and peace. Red is anger and love. But then there is blue. Blue is no ordinary color. It reminds me of a person that had blue hair the first time I met them, a person that would be water in Avatar: The Last Airbender, a person who I got to lay weightless with in the ocean in Oman, a person named Kita. One connotation of the color blue is depth. Kita embodies this with their endless care for people. I've never met anyone who feels as deeply as them. And with that comes such empathy and the ability to understand the atmosphere and vibe of a room just by sitting in it. To be in their company is to be heard and understood. I am forever grateful of that. Kita is calm, loyal, and trustworthy. More attributes that remind me of the color blue. They are like this all the time. Well, at least until we are playing Uno or sport or anything with the slightest hint of competition. They will destroy you and do it with a smile on their face if it means they win. The color blue surrounds us always, whether it be the sky or the ocean. We are held in its embrace eternally. Kita has held me in their embrace throughout TGS, showing me the love and giving me the best hugs when I need them most. They uplift the room not only with their unbeatable singing voice, but with their incredibly coordinated dance moves
and energetic personality as well. Kita has been a constant in my TGS journey and will continue to be a constant in the rest of my life. I love you, Kita, so please come up here and get your diploma. You truly deserve it.
I love you and I appreciate you. Our friendship means a lot to me, so thank you for being in my life. Being friends with Taqiyuddin means this is a common message for me to receive. Sometimes to my face, and sometimes through a text message at 1 a.m. on a random Tuesday. I have never met someone so kind and open as Tico. Since I met you, you have done nothing but be a great friend to me and those that you love. Thank you for all the times you listened to me vent about random things, to all the times when my presence was enough, to all the times you've cooked for me when I'm out of stipend. No one cooks with more love than you. Thank you for the time you let me put glow sticks in your hair to see if it light up, the time we straightened your hair and you looked so good, all the card games that we've played, and all the deep chats that we've had. I remember meeting you in Malaysia, mistaking you for an educator, not knowing you would be one of my favorite people I have ever met. So I'm very thankful to be introducing you. I love you and I appreciate you. Our friendship means a lot to me, so thank you for being in my life. So welcome to the stage, future farmer, mother hen, adopted white girl, and one of my closest friends, Taqiyuddin.
Once upon a time, in 2016, a young boy went to Kenya. While this has nothing to do with the rest of my speech, ending up in seemingly random places became a trend for that boy. Living in Vietnam for so long that people forget his Norwegian origin. Another seemingly random aspect of him is the variety of topics he knows, from the Haber-Bosch process to the mating habits of snails, explained in Spanish, of course. Sigurd, to the unknowing spectator, you may look like a video game character created by pure RNG, but in actuality, you are a thoughtful person driven by unlimited curiosity. Your tendency to play devil's advocate may have gotten you in trouble in the past, but has allowed me and others to challenge the opinions we held, forcing us to join you on oh my god, English. Forcing us to join you on your journey for truth and sound logical reasoning. I'm genuinely thankful to have had you as a friend and a roommate. I wouldn't have preferred anyone else to go slowly insane with during our Bosnia quarantine. Running around on the rooftop during yard time, listening to conspiracy theory podcast, and playing Elden Ring and Smash Bros with you is what kept me sane at that time. I'm going to miss our deep conversations and corny science jokes. Now, I'd like to introduce you all to TGS's Viking, ferocious in his drive for knowledge. Sigurd, please come up to the stage.
It's an honor to be able to introduce this person, as he's truly been one of the most influential people in my life. Not only recently, but in my entire time alive. Through our time, we've been through numerous adventures and mischievous activities, and I would like to reminisce on one in particular, in Botswana, on a random bus on the way to Maun. We tried to make a simple pork sandwich. What's usually a simple activity that can be done in 2 minutes became a whole 30-minute ordeal, including screwdrivers, pencils, pens, and blood. Blood, sweat, and tears were put into this thing, which the amalgamation of all this work I would not call a sandwich. I don't know what it became, but it became also the start of a very good friendship. Since then, our adventures have never ceased, and I've grown to love his continued energy to do something. He's always outside, up some random rock, up a tree, in a park. You'll never find him inside, and if you do, you'll find him on his computer. Although, if you take the time to talk to him, you'll find a deeply caring and loving person. I've often said that if TGS were to go to war, he'd be the medic that runs out to the front line to get you, insulting your stupidity for charging in the first place while taking you back and caring for your wounds. This is Nico in a nutshell. Despite the banter and sarcasm that will often come from your decisions and his judgment of said decisions, he is deeply caring and will do as much as is in his power to help you. So please, welcome to the stage, Mr. Nico Way, our resident crack addict in rock climbing.
Thank you, Sigurd. Just as a little note, I wrote this speech while waiting for my friend. He was in the emergency room because he had dislocated his shoulder. Luckily, his shoulder is back in place, and we're all good now. But anyway, to one of my most dearest friends, I could not have expected such an amazing friendship 3 years ago when we first met in Dubai. We've been through a lot together. We've laughed, we've sang, and we've cried. Well, it's more me crying and you patting me on the shoulder, trying your best to cheer me up. You're always there for me when I needed it most. From singing punk rock songs at the Res, exploring the streets of Mumbai, or chilling next to a campfire in Botswana, there are so many memories that I will continue to cherish. I couldn't have asked for a better friend, and I would look forward to future adventures together. And with that, I'd be honored to welcome TGS's very own punk rocker, running entirely on coffee, the Mohawk man himself, Santiago.
Sometimes you have to meet people more than once to really understand who they are. So please allow me to let me tell you a bit about the different times I met Nicolas. In Athens, I met Nico. He dances all the time, films cringy TikToks, and laughs a lot. Like, way too much. He's all right, I guess. In Bosnia, I met Nico again. He seems to really love having lunch with Mabel, dancing with Kita, and dressing up in all 80s denim. He also said we should be politically correct after reading my card in Cards Against Humanity. I don't know if he's trying to tell me something with that, but I'll figure out. In Australia, I met Nico for the third time, and I can never, ever be thankful enough for the existence of Menia Ramen, and also to Maximo for being 15 minutes late to that lunch, which allowed us to talk about important stuff during those 15 minutes, like the bloody state of the country. I now know Nico as a guy whose last name no one can pronounce. Chiriboga. Yeah, I think I got that down. Nico is a guy who will tell you about his friends back home like he's writing a movie script. Nico is a guy who sometimes sends me Panettone Marcella memes at 2 in the morning. Nico might just be the guy who has more to him that first meets the eye. In Japan, I meet Nico for the 4th time. And honestly, that is by far the best thing that happened in that term. It's not even close. Nico is a guy who you'll find rolling his back around the entire common room, probably with Sally telling him about her van. Nico is the guy with whom I can watch 1 hour and a half of telenovela analysis to the point where we're both laughing until we run out of breath. Yay. Nico is the guy who listens to me rant about every single little thing that crosses my mind. Nico is the guy who stands by my side as I look into that empty ramen bowl, terrified of what's to come, and reassures me that it'll all be fine. Nico is that guy who can make you laugh when you thought your vocal cords could no longer laugh at all, the one who buys the same gummy bears as you at 7-Eleven, and the one with whom you meet Max and spend 15 minutes in a random Hiroshima restaurant trying to figure out what the hell the different menu items are. But most importantly, Nico is the guy who will make sure you make it through, whether it is through an endless supply of Latin American memes, movie references, energetic dances, or tales of his friends back home. In Athens, I meet Nico again, an entire year after I first met you. We're living in the same room now, watching Shrek. Or is it Scary Movie? Wait, no, it's gotta be Maze Runner. Though it might be Despicable Me. You kinda love Shrek at some point. Nico is that guy who, I'm gonna make my best impression, I'm gonna try, who shouts, "No!" Oh. And my personal favorite, Lemao, whenever anything happens. Nico is the guy who whispers into his phone whilst calling his sister at midnight. Nico is the guy who holds a flashlight whilst helping Maximo find his clothes in the room at 3 in the morning. Nico is the guy whom I've now made hate the color yellow. Nico is the guy on the other bottom bunk, the one where we all hang out singing Lonely Boy after bed checks. Nico is the guy who's there to cheer you up, both in the good times and the bad times. He has a contagious laughter, a willingness to talk to anyone, the energy to dance to Rasputin at any point of the day, and the ability to record like 40,000 TikToks just to tell you a story about his party in Ecuador. Everyone meets different Nikos, but all versions of Nico share one thing. Nico is the ever-shining lantern that can never be put out. He's the fire that keeps you warm when you feel like everything's gonna be cold forever. He's the guy who wakes up and makes you smile, because you know he's gonna make you laugh even when you wanna cry. Because you know he's gonna be there for you, even after the weird end of term in Australia, after the trauma in Hiroshima, after screaming, "You're the fascist!" at you in the courtyard, and even after the end of our TGS journey in Athens. I had the chance to meet 5 Nikos at TGS, but that's only a glimpse of everything he is. However, getting just that single glimpse into Nico made this entire year at TGS worth being here. Nicolás, gracias por estar ahí para mí cuando yo mismo no sabía si lo iba a lograr. Porque todo lo que haces por mí es más de lo que tú te has podido imaginar. Thank you for being my emotional support Latino. And with that, please welcome to the stage, Nicolás Chiriboga Viteri.